All 44 US presidents are locked in a large conference room for 24 hours. What happens? Obama gets Clinton to call in a favor and have Gore set up an introductory what you missed PowerPoint. Everybody cries when they get to the moon landing, except for Teddy, who heckles. Dubai tries to set up a fathers and sons club. John Adams is into it. Quincy is not. The elder Bush doesn't dignify the idea with a no. Reagan and JFK rank starlets. Nixon is introduced to Futurama and spends the whole of the gathering watching clips on YouTube and muttering about vindication. Trump tries to mock FDR for the polio, but wanders off when he hears Jefferson talking about He meets Jackson, but it doesn't register, and he spends the night confusing him with Andrew Johnson. Buchanan reads about the last 3 years and scoffs that he was way more corrupt. Nobody cares. Lincoln and Washington end up in a corner talking to each other. Grant gets drunk. Taft does too. Cleveland discovers Twitter. The 19th century back row sitters try to rumble with Coolidge and Hoover. Someone shows I'm sorry John to Garfield, who promptly demands to go back to the hell he came from. Carter talks to everyone about doing work for the greater good. Eisenhower and Truman try to understand how the US went from the post-war high to ick now. 2019. Ford smiles awkwardly. Wilson's wife shows up instead of him. Obama makes Jefferson and Madison watch Hamilton. Jefferson trash talks Burr. Madison stares at his shoes and blames the Second Amendment on Mason, who is dead and cannot defend himself. Oddly, Washington already knows all the words. Ben Franklin wanders through occasionally. Nobody knows how or why. It's a generally civil gathering, but nothing substantial comes from it. Power move. Lyndon Johnson pulls his massive hog out. Trick question. This is secretly Lin-Manuel Miranda trying to get help writing the plot for Hamilton 2. I don't think Andrew Jackson and Barack Obama would get along. Donald Trump introduces Andrew Jackson to Twitter. Dear God, no. Jackson would totally be the type that responds to every bit of negative criticism. Jackson is the type to challenge his critics on Twitter to fight him IRL on the White House lawn. And then actually go through with it and kick their ass too. We should just have 2 Cleveland clones instead of it being 44. How about 3 Cleveland clones and no Andrew Jackson? Who let the black guy in here? Washington. Does he belong to someone here? Obama. Guys come on, times change. Adams. Jefferson. This is all your fault. Jefferson. Not every black man in America is related to me. Are they? Lincoln and Kennedy stare at each other with a gaping hole in their heads. You two? I'd like to think they spent some time talking about what was going through their minds at the time. Thomas Jefferson immediately calls for a revolution. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Washington yells, "The f*** I tell you about having parties?" Clinton and Jefferson would be like, "Where the interns at?" Trump would be, "Mar-a-Lago has a way bigger conference room." Eisenhower would be, "I told you f*** this would happen." Kennedy would be like, "So this Cybertruck, are the windows really that strong? I should get me a Cybertruck." Oh, they aren't talking to each other. They're pestering their Secret Service details with a million questions. Who do you think locked the doors? By the way, the Secret Service is now hiring as their list of higher level protectees just skyrocketed. Special consideration will be given to history and Old English buffs. Why have you brought us here? The presidents ask. It wasn't us. The Secret Service agents say. If not you, then who? Ask the presidents. Me, says Major Ben Franklin, bursting through the wall like the Kool-Aid man with his robot body powered by lightning and the love of older French women. I've gathered you all here to announce that I'm running for president in 2020. Might as well, right? They already have me on the money. Why did you need to call us all here to announce that? Asks a small president in the back, most likely James Madison. Couldn't you just call a press conference or announce it on Twitter? I could have, says Ben Franklin in his unholy robot body, but I need a running mate. So I want you all to look under your chair. Each of you has a sword. Remember, there can be only one. 44 walk in. Only one walks out. Jimmy Carter, peanut farmer. Allergies for everyone. George Washington would be like, what the hell has happened in the 200 plus years since I've died? Damn, that would be a fun reaction to watch. Me, well, the world stopped doing wars. George, oh, that's amazing. Me, but now no one can fight, so battles are instead waged political and socially, with China having complete control over the economy and therefore the world. George, oh shit. Me, oh, but we also made it to space first. George, USA, USA, USA. Washington scolds everyone because he said that they couldn't have parties in the House or anywhere in government for that matter. Abraham Lincoln destroys everyone in a mega rap battle. By the people, for the people, of the people, eagle. I won a civil war with my beard, now I'm here to whap your ass. I've read up on all your facts. James Buchanan would be beaten up and robbed by Abraham Lincoln, and William Henry Harrison would spend the entire time trying to convince people he had in fact been the president. Meanwhile, Andrew Johnson, Bill Clinton and Trump would have bonded and formed a clique over complaining about being impeached, and JFK would confront Lyndon B. Johnson about the conspiracy theories. A madhouse would happen. Andrew Jackson has duels with 3 presidents before Ulysses S. Grant faints at seeing the sight of blood. Teddy Roosevelt takes out Taft with an elephant gun, while Franklin D. Roosevelt hides under a desk, trying to make a speech. Thomas Jefferson throws a swivel chair at someone, screaming, "I invented this thing." Obama tries to stop all the madness by giving a speech, and while some makeup, Clinton picks up a chair and tries to hit George W. Bush, screaming, "Al Gore should one goddamn it." Clinton is distracted by another president's good looks and is left staring, and Jimmy Carter says, "How did I get from building houses to being in the presidential hostage crisis?" Abraham Lincoln picks up Trump and throws him, screaming, "If this is the best my party can get, then my party should quit. Thanks, Herb." Clinton and John F. Kennedy are chatting it up about Marilyn Monroe's butt, while Lyndon B. Johnson is showing off his dick to everybody. Yes, he did do that in real life. Nixon is spying on JFK, while Gerald Ford is in an emotional wreck. Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt have taken control and are now playing catch with Taft, while Andrew Jackson is looking for more things to duel with, eventually settling on Ronald Reagan, who screams, "Come at me, sonny boy." Nothing. Absolutely nothing happens. Same story as usual. Everyone dies because no doubt someone would wanna kill them. Trump fills them in on the latest top secret news, and they all tell tales of top secret shit that went down during their presidency. I serve drinks and pretend not to listen and tell nobody what I heard. We hopefully finally get some of them to clarify what they meant by the Second Amendment. Taft proves that the stuck in a bathtub thing was a myth. Wilson apologizes for screening KKK movies in the White House. Harrison is sad he's only remembered for dying, and Washington shows everyone he didn't actually have wooden teeth. Worse, he took them from poor people and slaves. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe catch up with one another, and Jefferson realizes that Adams died only hours after he did. They kick themselves for their vagueness in the Constitution and for a few of the articles. William Henry Harrison expressed regret at his inauguration clothing choice. Tyler and Polk wonder how the hell they got here. Franklin Pierce is still looking for his son's head. Lincoln sees Obama talking with the more recent presidents, but is nervous that he's read Lincoln's speeches from his debates against Douglas. Buchanan scopes out the newer guys to see which would make the most suitable male partner. Andrew Johnson proposes a plan to reconstruct their history and how they got to where they did, but unkindly asks Obama to leave. Cleveland is wondering why his past and future self are in the same place at the same time, and wonders if he can talk to the other. Garfield curses the doctors who tried to dig the harmless bullet out. McKinley curses the lack of security at the Pan American Exposition. Teddy Roosevelt says how men used to be tougher, retelling the story of how he was shot and still gave a 2-hour speech after. Wilson writes and explains 14 points on the wall, but no one is listening. Harding has made a secret tunnel not to escape, but to go to his mistress's bedrooms. FDR sits quietly in his wheelchair. JFK asks who shot him. LBJ is naked, drinking a Fanta. Nixon has snuck in a team of agents to try to get information on the meeting. Carter sighs. Clinton has joined Harding in his mistress's bedroom. Bush Jr. passes Obama a piece of candy while talking to his dad. Trump continuously tries to get everyone's attention, but is unable to, so he blames everyone else. Thomas Jefferson shoves mac and cheese down everyone's throat, causing them to choke to death, then he would just go back and forth around the room in a swivel chair. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Let us know your thoughts on this topic. See you soon.